everyone, this is Joy Paris with Network.tv at the iconic Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. We're here for the KCET Upfronts. It is going to be a fantastic night, and I'm so happy to be here to support KCET and all its fabulous programming. Stay tuned and keep watching Network.tv. Well, this is very exciting tonight. Share with me, how do you feel about being here to celebrate SOCAL Connected, Lost LA, KCET LA, it's all combined.
It is, and people don't realize how important it is to do local productions about Los Angeles, because everything these days is national and Trump and these hurricanes and these shootings, and we forget there is so much incredible, wonderful stuff happening locally. People who are solving problems, who are taking up causes, who are doing beautiful artistic work. And so we have to remember that's happening in Los Angeles all the time, every day, and we're finally focusing on it. And you know, we live in sort of these frightening, dark times, and these shows are light. They bring light to people, to ideas, to our history. So it's just great to be part of a more positive kind of programming that we can bring to Los Angeles audiences.
How important is it for social media in terms of what the station is doing to drive that voice even more? What are some of the platforms that will be happening?
Well, every single episode that we do is put on the web so people can watch anytime. It's often broken into more digestible, shorter pieces. And then we have blogs, and we have articles, and we have enhanced photographs, especially when it comes to the local history. And for SOCAL Connected, we'll have like interactive maps or additional graphs or data that pertain to whatever issue we're covering, or simple things like transcripts. So what's digitally will enhance everything that's on the air as well.
Well, for the audience, give them the rundown about the show, when it's going to air, what should they look for, and all the dynamics that we need.
Now, which show would you like? SOCAL Connected?
All of them.
Oh, okay. SOCAL Connected is back for its 8th season, so we are going to do much more heavy-duty, investigative, hard-hitting reporting. So we're looking at Airbnbs. Everyone complains about them. Why aren't they regulated? Because, once again, the city has not taken the problem by the horns. We're looking at why people can go missing, often people with dementia or Alzheimer's, and this one woman was disappeared from LACMA almost a year ago, never showed up anywhere. What happens to those people? How come there isn't a registry or a website or some way to find them? And then we're looking at development that often goes out of control, that, you know, big, huge buildings and multi-story buildings that aren't appropriate for neighborhoods. And we're looking at slumlords and the affordable housing problem, and why they don't clean up their act. So it's going to be a more hard-hitting season.
I'm so excited to see all the shows. I can't even wait. So how do we follow you on social media and stay connected with you?
My best thing is Facebook, actually. I tell you the truth, I can't handle like Twitter and this. And just Facebook me, Zavala KCET, and KCET Facebook as well, besides my own personal.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We're happy to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, Lost LA is a show about LA history. We tell stories from LA's past through the archives. We're in our second season. Second season goes on the air Tuesday, October 10th, 8:30 on KCET. Super excited for everybody to see this. You know, we're doing something a little different this season. LA history is often, California history generally is often kind of folded into the grander narrative of American history, and it tends to leave a lot of people out of the story. So what we're doing is we're recentering LA history, and we're looking at we're looking at LA's relationship to Latin America, LA's relationship to the Pacific Rim, and saying that, you know, even though LA is part of the U.S. politically, right, culturally, economically, we're part of the Pacific Rim, we're part of Latin America, and those relationships matter almost as much. And so we're sort of looking at how those relationships are deeply rooted in our history, going back hundreds, even thousands of years.
Did you find out anything like really super cool and interesting doing the show, like that blew you away on a personal note? You're like, whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's tons of stories, something really dark, there's a deep history, a big history of lynching here in Southern California. Now, lynching is typically associated with American South, African American victims. Here, it was Mexican American victims, and it was, you know, hundreds of Mexican American men. Yeah. And this was it was a result of, you know, the Americans invaded in 1846, conquered California, and this was sort of the ugly hangover from that war, was this extra legal violence that went on for decades.
I never knew about that.
Yeah, so it's a really dark chapter, and we're looking at it. We're looking at it through the trees that still exist, because there are these trees that are there. Some of them, they're like little monuments, little plaques that say this tree was used in the hanging. So we're sort of looking at the relevance of that today and trying to
If you had to describe the show in 3 words, how would you describe Lost LA?
The past, history through archives. So what we do is we take before we even decide what stories we want to tell, we look at what's in the archives. We look at what sort of documents, photos, maps exist, and then we decide what we can tell, what sort of stories we can spin out of that. And so it always goes back to, and for instance, there's one episode where we just have 2 books. We have something that's called the Address Book and something called the Green Book. The Address Book was a guide to the city for gays and lesbians back in the 1960s when it was really dangerous to be a gay or a lesbian. And so this gave them places to meet up. It told them, you can go to this bar is friendly. And the other book is the Green Book, which was called the Negro Motorist Guidebook to the U.S. And it helped African American drivers stay safe in Jim Crow America.
I didn't know about the first one.
Yeah, they're very similar in some regards. Not a lot of people have heard about the first one. That was really interesting. It was about this size. You keep it in your back pocket. When the police came to raid a bar, just take it out and toss it. So because it was not incriminating. Yeah.
Well, one more time again. So tell everybody when Lost LA will come on.
Lost LA premieres, the season 2 of Lost LA premieres Tuesday, October 10th at 8:30 on KCET.
I'm excited to watch it, and I think I'm going to be a fan. I think I'm going to get hooked on this.
I hope so. I hope you like it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yes,